All right. Let's do this. GM, everybody, and welcome to this holiday season Wake and Jake special. Markets, giving us a lot of opportunity. But this is why we show up every day, right? I mean, we were here throughout the whole bear, seeing it choppy like this, and we're still here today, even during the holidays. Jake, GM, bro, how are you?
GM, man. Yes, certainly very choppy. Not the best trading conditions, but always opportunities out there for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Excited for the holidays. It's gonna be fun. Um, how are you, man? How's the weekend?
Good, taking it easy. We had a busy little weekend at the restaurant with the holidays coming up and everything. Usually, it's like our busy season. It's the 2 weeks leading up to holidays are pretty like busy. Even though this year was a little bit less than usual, it still was like really good. And now I'm happy though because I'm closed for a few days, so it's gonna be nonstop grinding and just doing MVHQ stuff and just
Yeah,
trying to trade this market. So I'm happy, bro. I'm always happy when I'm off. How about you, man? How was your weekend?
yeah. Great to hear. Yeah, good stuff. Just family stuff. Yeah, we can get into things. Um, get into the market. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm not as prepared. I don't have it. Let me pull up the charts real quick.
Yeah,
Um,
when things are down, we don't want to
yeah.
look, eh?
Um, yeah, Bitcoin down. Looks like about 13% on the week. Sorry, I'm like sorted by the wrong. Here we go. ETH down 15.5%. Solana down 16% on the week. Yeah, not great. We hit highs of like 108 area, and then have been like down only basically since then. Sitting at about 93.2 as we're recording this right now. Another dump this morning. But yeah, market's been shaky, been really choppy. Um, I'd say like in general, like TLDR, I'm really not worried. Like it's just I don't know. I don't think I certainly don't think bull's over. It's pretty natural to have pullbacks in the bowl, even like ones that are quite a bit more than what we've gotten so far. So I'm not stressing too much. We had a pretty big run up. People are gonna take profit. I think we pretty much ran up to 108 from like 60K or so. If you look at a higher time frame chart, with barely any dips. So obviously there's going to be some profit taking eventually. End of the year, tax season stuff, holidays, kind of makes sense honestly if you think about it a bit. That we would get some chop here in this area, and ideally, resume bull action in January. So that's kind of my take right now. With that being said, um, we're seeing some strength over in the alt section of things. Bitcoin dominance is a good chart to look at, to kind of get an idea of when we might get a more of an alt season. Going Bitcoin dominance again is just like the market cap of Bitcoin divided by the total crypto market cap. Here's a chart here. I'll share in voice hangout as well if you want to follow along. Bitcoin dominance chart. But as you can see, if you look at like the hourly or so, quite a big red candle, and it's looking a bit topped, at least locally, here in December. So usually that's a good signal of alt season, which is fun, because I'm sure most of us have most of our funds in non-Bitcoin crypto assets. I would assume. Um, so that's fun for us. Hopefully, we're in the right ones. I think a lot of times, I think I'm certainly not the first person to say this, but um, there's so many coins out there, right? Now, especially even since last cycle, like it's just more and more like you have to be in the right coins, even when everything does pump. to see some kind of significant gains. So, hopefully we can, analyze the best ones here at NVHQ and figure out, what are the premier assets to select for this alt season. But yeah, I'll stop there at the moment while I pull up some other stuff.
Yeah, good rundown. I'm not worried at all either. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure. Should I have maybe stabled a little bit because I was anticipating this? Yes, but at the same time, I still made a killing because, you know, a few short positions here and there, and just buying up dips with the liquidity I had because I did have some on the side. I mean, I haven't done that bad, so I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like my main play though, not to get too far off the main coins, but Pengu. I just bought every dip on Pengu I could, and actually it's held up really well. So I'm excited to see what that's gonna do. And today it's actually up compared to every other coin that's been just nuking. So yeah, that's been my main play for this little period. Other than that, I haven't done much. I've done a few shit coins that we'll talk about later, but and I did well on those, like we saw in the success posts. But yeah, I mean, as majors are concerned, I'm not worried at all. I mean, I think end of January we'll see like we did other years where people will front run the market and then others will FOMO back in. And also during the holidays, everybody talks to their family, and who's not going to talk to their family about crypto? In the hottest bull ever. I mean, they're finally meeting up with their family after like months of cooking and everybody hearing about crypto, and you think people are just gonna stay quiet about it. I think this season here we're gonna be onboarding a lot of people just like organically, and it's gonna be fun to see what January gives us because I think it's gonna be very hot. NFA, you know what I mean? But still.
Yeah, man. I Again, I always talk about I'm not a crypto or I'm not a macro expert. I follow people who I think are. Here's a couple Web3 quant that I reference quite a lot, and OGD Farmer. Both of them tweeted like within the last hour about alt Bitcoin bottom being in, meaning
Yeah.
basically alt season. Um, so that should be fun. Hopefully it's not all season where Bitcoin goes down and the other ones just go down less. That would be a fun alt season. Um,
That's the wrong way. Wrong way. We want the other way.
yeah, right. Um, so yeah, something I just think something to monitor here. For the time being, we could certainly bleed more for Bitcoin. I think there's the most recent Don tweet he shared, kind of his like higher time frame, support and resistance zones for Bitcoin. Sorry, I don't have it up currently. For some reason, I can't find it. Oh, here we go. And it basically had like the 80 to 80 like 7 or 88 to like 71K or so is another decent support area for Bitcoin. So that would be something to look at if we do keep bleeding there. Maybe there's a decent bounce from that area. So yeah, that's all I really got in Bitcoin though. Since not really fun to talk about since it's been bleeding like crazy. But yeah, so we can rotate unless you guys have anything else on major stuff. Also, I would say just one more thing, like ETH Bitcoin is interesting on the lower time frames right now. It seems to have bottomed a bit, kind of along with all season in the last few days. It's starting to form a bottom. It still hasn't really broken out of its kind of like a lower to midterm downtrend. That would be a nice one to look at if we were to break that trend line. We could see some shorter term ETH strength here. Yeah, besides that, that's basically all I got on the major stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we we've talked about meme coins as a sector now for a while, and we know that when markets crash like they do, meme coins are always going to take the biggest hit because they're the most like speculative and like hot air asset there is. But I also think that works both ways. Where if they take a big hit, they're also the ones to run hardest. So if you do have a bit of liquidity and you're sprinkling on majors, you might want to take a small percent and just go for some of the bigger meme coins that took a hit because I feel like anytime we get going again, meme coins do come back and they come back really, really strong. I mean, they'll have their time in the sun again. So I've been doing that. I've been adding more to my bags. I'm already packed for Bitcoin and Ethereum, so I'm mostly and Solana. I have a good amount of that too. So when this happens, I just usually try to swing for the fences and add a little bit to my whiff bag and try to sell on the 2 or 3x. That's what I mean. That's usually what I do. I'll sell high and buy low again on meme coins. I just think they're so volatile that I try not to hold on to them too long. But I mean, they also run hard. So when I get those pumps, I take my exits too because any
Mhm.
blood in the markets, they just come crashing down harder than anything else. So always good to have an eye on them because I feel like those are the ones that'll just run out of nowhere and people will be surprised. But I mean, we see it all the time. Bitcoin goes up, then memes fly. Bitcoin comes down, memes crash harder than anything. So I mean, there's opportunity there. So it's always good to keep on your radar. I think WIF is under $2. When's the last time we saw that? You know what I mean? WIF has been around for over 8 months, and it's just been, you know what I mean? It's just been not up only, but I mean we've seen it do some crazy things. So at $1.80, I mean, I'm taking my chances, right? So, and Pepe didn't come down that much though. I felt like Pepe didn't crash as much as others, so that's been kind of more stable. But yeah, a lot of opportunity out there in the meme coin sector, I think.
Yeah, it's looking like a decent support here for memes in general. I have a hard time bidding memes. It's just like if it just feels so hard right now to like which one. It's like it feels just so spread out.
Yeah,
There's not
you're
like
right
a
on
really
that.
a dominant one of this cycle yet. It just seems like there's keeps being new ones that pop up that take attention away, and then the old ones fizzle. It's like if there was a main dominant one like Doge or something last cycle, then I would be more keen to like really jump in on dips. But it's hard. It's just like it's I mean it's Popcat, it's Whiff, it's Pepe, it's like Pengu is kind of in there too, and then obviously like all
Mob,
the AI stuff
yeah,
and I mean Fartcoin personally is like my favorite right now. It seems like the strongest to me. It's also bouncing. It's like bouncing really hard from the bottom already this morning. But in my opinion, like if you just look at like mindshare metrics as well, and just in general, like if you look at like the TradFi, um, like TradFi mindshare as well, like they like love talking about Fartcoin. It's
they
great.
do.
So I gotta like I feel like I feel a responsibility to mention Fartcoin now, like every single episode, because I really think it's like it has a chance to be the like meme of the cycle, based on what I'm seeing from like mindshare and attention that it's already caught. And it works just really well from both a left curve and right curve perspective. So I feel like an obligation to mention Fartcoin on a weekly basis here on this show because I really think it can be like the Doge of this cycle, or at least be like the second biggest meme coin behind Doge.
Yeah, it really did bounce hard. I'm looking at it now, and it was like it came to a local bottom of like 58 cents, which is 580 million market cap just this morning, like a couple hours ago, and it's back to 75. It's crazy. It's what a run, and that's actually still it's very low, like compared to what the highs of 1.2 that it went to or whatever it was. I mean, I think you're right. I think this one might be a good opportunity. And what's 1 billion for a really good meme, right? I mean, it's taken the world by storm. This thing, it even helped things like unicorn fart dust. You know what I mean? Like that's why it got created because everybody in the regular world, all the normies and the boomers started hearing about Fartcoin and what the crazy things Fartcoin is doing. So, I mean, it's making a lot of people wake up to memes in a way, and it's created its own little meta. It's been cool to see, and I think you're right. I think this is not done. I'm not invested. I've always wanted to, and I never did. I don't know if you ended up jumping in. I know you were saying this similar things where you weren't in yet. Did you start DCing in yet?
Yeah, I have some,
Nice.
not nearly as much as I want,
Yeah.
but I'm not very liquid right now, so I'm trying to just rotate. I'm basically just like DCing profits in
Yeah, smart. It's hard to
my
find liquidity
trades.
when things are down. You don't want to be selling things, and you know what I mean. I guess
Yeah.
I do it sometimes where I'll find a coin that hasn't dumped too much that I hold, and I try to get into a coin that dumped a lot. Like I do that a lot, where I'll swing trade my positions, but it's always hard deciding, you know what I mean, what might run in the coming months. You don't know, so I try not to liquidate things that are down too hard. But yeah, I agree with you. It's just a good thing to rotate into profits into. Um, Yeah, I like it. I've been keeping an eye on it, and it's gonna be one of the, I know it's gonna fall in that bucket of coins that I've been looking at for months and just never bought, and I'm not even surprised that it's melting faces. It's gonna be in that bucket of Pepe and all these other coins that I faded for way too long. But yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's an exciting future. I find it funny how this is the one that got on the radar of everybody. You know what I mean? Like you said, the TradFi guys and just the
Mhm.
normies, the boomers. It's amazing. It's just so like even when I first saw it, I'm like, man, are you kidding me? Is this really what's gonna pump now? And looking back, it makes sense. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, it's dumb enough, right? Yeah.
It's dumb enough, exactly. It's nobody needs to understand it. They just need to know that this is the type of shit that's pumping right now. Sparked coin.
Jim,
But
guys, how we doing?
yo,
Yeah,
Aslo,
man,
what's
as
going on,
well.
bro?
Hey, happy holidays this week, guys,
Happy
too.
holidays.
I have thoughts. I spent all of yesterday, or a good chunk of yesterday, compiling data and thinking about these questions. So I have some
Let's
things
hear
to
it.
share. So I mean, first off, I generally agree with you guys in all your takes earlier. What I was trying to figure out a little bit more though is like the why, and then of course like how to play it. So I do have some data that I think is actually worthwhile for us. So one that I think is worthwhile, I'm sure we've all seen it, is the chart that people have talked about with M2 global money supply against Bitcoin. And I'm sure you guys have seen it on crypto Twitter, people talking about how M2 money supply, global money supply, essentially it's global money supply, right? And needless to say, when we had COVID happened, why did part of the reason we had such a good pump was not just boredom, it was also we had a lot of money coming into the system, as we all know, with stimmies. And M2 money supply, the last little bit of time since September, has gone down a pretty good bit globally. And so that's important, right? Because supply and demand, obvious reasons, right? Um, I'm bullish like you guys. That's the moral of the story. We have a good group coming into office, in the near term. So the main question I had in my mind is like, I think there's the assumption that like December is going to be choppy, like you said, Jen. So January we may be back, right? And is it January? That's kind of the question that I had in mind and how to think about that. And obviously, like you guys, I love risk. I don't want to overtime things. That's ridiculous. That's just a stupid decision to make. But I do think a little bit that we're a little bit betting on the come, if that makes sense, which is almost like in December, Jinzo, like you said, like you don't know what's going to go wrong. You just know there's going to be shit. Tap sell offs, North Korea with hype. I don't fucking know. Just anything, right? There's always shit that comes up. You don't need to know what it is as much as the fact that it's going to exist, right? And so, likewise, we can't see yet exactly where the stimmy or the money supply is going to come from. But what we do know is one is that the Fed balance sheet it's still decreasing, but at a slower rate than in the past. So it's like if you imagine the curve, I could share my screen, I could show you. But if you imagine the curve, it's just like smoothing out a little bit, which is good, right? And two is, that debt ceilings are in discussion lately and so on and so forth, right? So it's almost like, those things are going to come. I'll stop talking in a sec. Sorry, it's a little long-winded. But when
Oh,
you
you're
put all
good.
those pieces together, and like look at the TAs, like you're talking about, Jake, some of those great guys you introduced us to, and some others that I look at, and you look at historical drawdowns that have existed. I think where my head is at is similar to you guys, but I'm kind of thinking maybe just like a hair more conservatively of like maybe we go to like 70s or 80s kind of a thing, and maybe it's not January, or maybe it's like later in January kind of a thing, right? So something more in that direction, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean much. I don't want to overtrade it. I want to be in my bets, and I think alt's holding up right now is really good news, of course. But I do think it's a little bit more that scenario you were talking about, Jake, in my mind, of BTC dropping and alts falling a little bit less for a little bit, and not the other one. It feels like that a little bit from my perspective. But I have data. Maybe if I have time, I could like type it up and show some screenshots and things. But that's like the short version of it.
Yeah, no, I always appreciate your comments. I know you like to be more rational about it than us moon boys over here. But yeah, I don't think you're completely wrong. I think there's a lot of good things you said. It is good to be like cautious and stuff and have the data planned out. I just think there's way too much coming in January that points to us going higher. It could happen the other way too. Bad news could come out, or you know what I mean. More bad news could pile on to the news that we already got in December. I just feel like we just see this every not every December, very often though, and how eventually everybody just starts front running the market, and just Trump coming into office in mid January with, you know what I mean, early to mid January with his whole crew of people that are pro crypto. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to really start regulating and stuff. I expect it to come. People are all crazy bullish about this administration, as they should be, as it pertains to crypto. But I don't think they're not going to regulate. I think there's going to be regulation, and it's going to hopefully be done right. And short term, that might affect us negatively because rules and this and that. But I mean, in general, I think it's going to be very good for the market. We've been waiting for regulation for a very long time, so I'm hoping that takes us. I hope they do it right, and I hope they take us in the right direction. But yeah, personally, I'm like hyper bullish, especially for early in the year. I don't know what's going to happen a few months down the line. Anything can happen really, but especially early in the year when the year's about to flip to 2025, and people started getting a little bit risk on again. I think we're gonna maybe hit all-time highs again. I mean, we were at 108 just last week, and what really led us there? Not much, except for just the market being hot, right? So I feel like I feel like we're gonna early January. I think we're gonna go way higher. I don't think it's gonna be a bad month.
I
Personally, that's
agree.
just me. Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It's just it's hard to. It's like one of these things where like it's going to be good, and I also have confidence it's going to be good, but you just can't see it exactly yet, right? There's been no policy that said we're expanding money supply right now, right? But
Yeah.
shit like this is going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
For sure. And you see a lot of the times, like even now, everybody's panicking, like Ross was saying earlier and stuff. And not normies, but people are selling their crypto. You know what I mean? Like for tax loss harvesting. I saw some shitcoin traders saying, you know what? I'm not gonna wait till everything's green again. I'm selling now. I'm taking a 400K loss on my positions because I wanna loss harvest, and I don't get these opportunities very often. The guy was up a couple million just like 2 weeks ago, and now he's taking a 400K loss just to harvest. So I'm seeing a lot of those comments. I'm seeing people even not claim their pengu until January because they don't want to, like, they want to defer their taxes. They don't want to have to do them now on that big amount. So there's a lot of that going on, and I think a lot of the times it's really underestimated. We even used to see it with the NFT markets where, man, everything all of a sudden would go red. We're like, what the hell's going on? There's actually buy opportunity in December. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I think all of a sudden the switch is gonna flip, and there's gonna be airdrops coming too and all that. So it's gonna be an exciting month, I think.
yeah, I agree. I think in general, like my take is like I think you can like go enjoy the holidays with your family, with your friends. Touch a little grass or snow or whatever. Um, Not the bad kind of snow. uh,
Don't touch the bad
um,
stuff.
play a new video game or whatever. Come back in a week, and reassess things. I think you probably won't miss much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
It
downloaded a
seems
couple
like very
games.
choppy stuff right now. At the moment, so that's kind of my take. Also, um, also you could join us in the shitcoin streets because
Oh
we're having
yeah,
fun there, and we got some great stuff to talk about. On that front, that's for sure.
get into it. I mean, obviously this Sunday was brutal because of like just Sundays in general are kind of choppy and like slow. I don't know if everybody just watches football. I'm starting to think everybody just watches football on Sunday because Sundays have been bad, bro. Like there's nothing moving. I don't know if you saw yet. I'm sure you did. You were there yesterday, but nothing was moving in the shitcoin streets. It was just quiet. Saturday was hot. I didn't pay attention because of, there was Saturday football games and all that. So I wasn't paying attention, but I saw people posting their P&Ls from Saturday. Fasta, I think, had his record day on Saturday. He cooked on three or four different coins that went like 50x, and he really really like killed it on Saturday. He's more like discreet, so discreet in a way. He won't post that in Success channel, but I know he had a really good Saturday. Sunday though was brutal. Nothing was moving. Like I was looking at the amount of transactions per 5 minutes, and it was like one or two on some coins. It's like really bad. Today the market's heating up a little bit on shit coins. I'm seeing some stuff like SNAI come back up. UFD is doing all right. Like, I mean, there's volumes coming back today. But yeah, in general, I think shitcoins, I have a hard time judging them because we saw on Thanksgiving they were kind of bad. It was kind of dead across the markets, and I feel like Christmas is just like a much bigger Thanksgiving where people are off for a few days and they go see families. So I kind of expect the same, kind of dead. And why I'm saying I have a hard time judging is because people are off and they're home for like a few days, right? It's not just 1 or 2 days. They're home for a few days. So maybe that also gives the other side of it is maybe that does give people opportunity to trade, make money. So I have a hard time judging where we're gonna fall, but I'm gonna have my eye on the markets and pick my spots. I'm not gonna be full risk on, but I'm gonna go in and out and try to like pick some winners this week. Um, but yeah, on that note, I mean, we've had like different tools come our way that are really gonna help, and I think like even Melon, ever since we got on Padre, we're gonna talk about it here, but we have a partnership with Padre now, which is a competitor to BullX and Photon and all that. And personally, I've been using it this week, and I think it's just amazing. It's an amazing tool, and I feel like ever since we put it in front of some of our members, like Melon, the guy has found the biggest cooks. If you guys check my screenshots in success, all those wins I got were basically from Melon calls, or mostly from Melon calls, and he found all of those as soon as he switched to Padre. Like it's not even a joke. He started just finding cook after cook. I don't know if you remember that, Jake, but as soon as you got on that platform, it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this one. Oh, I like that one. I'm like, bro, what the hell? This guy's crushing it today. And it's all because of Padres. So if you want to talk a bit more about that, Jake, let's do it.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I don't want to like sound like a crazy shill. Like that's not. I like. That's not. If you guys know me, like long enough, like I don't really crazy shill stuff like this. Um. But like the partnership that Mitch was able to cook up for NVHQ members is pretty awesome, honestly. Mitch, I see you're here too. If you wanna chime in on this too, you're certainly welcome to, man. But yeah, I mean, look, this is basically like if you're already trading shit coins, meme coins at all, like this, in my opinion, like feels like a no brainer to do this. If you're like, because it's just basically you're just being rewarded the same as you for like normal trading activity. This is like what Padre is. It's like if you've used BullX, it's like very similar to BullX in terms of like UI and a lot of the features as well. This is like an example of one of the shit coins that I traded pretty poorly. As you can see, I'm selling bottoms and buying tops in certain areas. Um, but I just wanted to show the platform a bit while I talk through it. But in general, like let me get to the main point, the alpha on this for the rewards. So the deal that we have with Padre is if MBHQ does 30 million in volume, like collectively as NFT holders in here, um, per month, then they'll give us like 2% supply of rewards of their Padre token, um, split up to members like per month for the next 3 months. So that's 6% total. And this is the Padre token right now. It's already out. It's at a $24 million valuation, and they've gotten a lot of buzz recently. So it's like pumped quite a bit too. So um, I mean, 6% of 24 million is like $1.4 million, right? And that's only going to MVHQ members, or 1.5 million, something like that. I didn't do the math real quick on a calculator, but that's only going to MVHQ NFT holders who sign up with the referral code and do the Google form, which is probably like, I don't know, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm assuming it's probably like 15 people right now, 15 or 20 people. So like that's pretty crazy in my opinion. If especially because it's just rewarding you, it's just based on volume that you do on the site. Um, so it's rewarding you already for what you would normally do, and it's lower fees than BullX and Photon as well. So you're already paying less in fees to them too. So I don't know. It seems like a no brainer in my opinion if you're already trading shit coins. I'm not gonna advocate like to start trading shit coins if you haven't already, and if you don't feel like you have an edge, like I get that. That's no problem. But if you are already like trading shit coins a bit, then like this is a pretty insane like reward for members, and I want people to cook on it obviously, but I also like want us as a team to be able to hit that goal because that's like a big bonus. I think it's only like 0.5%. I can't remember exactly what the details is, but I think it's like a quarter of it if we get to if we don't get to that 30 million mark.
Oh, yeah, I could chime in here, Jake.
Yeah, for sure.
Just real quick. To give context, to that point, it's the reward every month is at base 0.5% of the total token supply of Padre. So we have secured 1.5% of the total token supply just to go to HQ NFT holders that want to participate in this partnership. This isn't none of this is going to our outward facing community through the app, through what we do with missions. And the upside is up to 6% based on the trading volume. So we don't have to hit that 30 million. Let's just say we hit half of that. We hit 15 mil this month, maybe GVN, Daddy Jinzo, right, Jake, they fuck off the Cabo for a month and we only make it to like 15 mil. We would get half of 1.5%, right, which is the delta of 2% and 0.5%, which is the foundation. So that's still a really awesome incentive for us. And I just sort of want to give context here. A lot of, ever since day one, a lot of our ethos is really focused on how do we drive value to you guys, to our NFT holders. How do we ensure that we can all cook together? And partnerships and really working closely with teams to help build really good product and make sure that we're on the ground floor for a potential good product, right? There's a lot of different variables that come into play. It's not every day that you get a Blur opportunity. And just to give you guys some context, this is the way that I see our partnership with Padre at the moment is very similar, if not more exciting to me than it was to work with Blur, because the builders of Padre are the founders of NFT Nerds, which is like, don't need to tell you guys about NFT Nerds. Y'all are back from the NFT DGen days, and that was a really cracked platform. And they actually found Metaverse HQ because a lot of HQ members were, buying subscriptions. They're wondering who are buying up all these subscriptions. They're all holding Metaverse HQ NFTs, and they actually joined HQ in 2021 and have been a part of our community. They gave us money they sponsored our New York City event in 2022, that rooftop standard bar. They're investors in HQ, and they've just been really awesome founders to get to know and work with. And when I saw Padre for the first time, it was not actually recently in like day one of being a member in the trenches, but it was actually last year in August. I was getting an alpha leak. They were demoing the platform, and it looked totally different than what it looks like now. So, and I didn't know anything about shitcoins. I had just bought Bald and watched my 5 mil FDB investment go to nearly 100 mil, and then go to zero in literally a heartbeat. It was crazy. And I was like, okay, shitcoin's not for me, but Padre, this looks really exciting. And I'm more excited that they're building something new because NFTs were dying. And so fast forward to today, we have been so focused on really split pushing a lot of our intention and bandwidth, right? We have a lot of still community facing events like this, and leaders like Jake and Jinzo and AI and Llama and Ross and so, my God, everyone else, right? We're still focusing our attention to the community, obviously, but it's no secret that we're also expanding and broadening Metaverse HQ, right, in hopes of driving value to you guys. That's always been our core ethos, and when we intended to launch and build and launch our app to then grow our community, it's continued to be the ethos. And what I'm particularly excited about, to Jake's point, is that we have an opportunity here to work early with founders on an app, on a product that covers a market that I believe we know very well. And in fact, in just my first month of trading shitcoins, I learned so much just by being in here. I was just in a Twitter Spaces that Jacob got pulled into, so I was just listening in, and hundreds of people, they don't know anything about shitcoins. They're talking about like following different influencers, XYZ, and none of the stuff that I was learning here had any was shared out there, and they don't have the resources, right? So I had a sense that okay, we're very good at this. We like to do it. I just didn't know how much volume and what the trenches even meant until I actually joined. And I started with Photon, started with Bullx, and I was like, well, let's see what Padre's up to. We just had a mission with them anyways. Obviously, we're still friends. We keep in touch with Serenity and Rigby. At least I do personally. And I was really impressed. I loved some of their like key standout features. I think particularly that left-hand view that Jake is showcasing, the trending tab, really cracked. I love that every time I gave them an idea or feedback, Serenity would be like, "Oh, refresh your tab," like an hour later. That's fucking sweet. And their token, I didn't even know they had a token. They legally cannot put their own token in that dashboard view. That's why it's so hard to find, as well as the utility. It's actually on the landing page. But I was excited. I think I mentioned probably like 14, maybe like 13, 14 days in that I had switched to Padre. People were asking me about this platform, and I initially switched just because I was like, okay, I want the lower trading fees. If I had bought $450 worth of Padre at that time, I would get 0.5% trading fee, which is just so super nice. And then also on top of that, there were value propositions on the app that I really liked that the others didn't have. And obviously, being able to work with the founders gave me conviction that we could help. That they really want to make this app succeed. They see the market, and there's just so much volume going into these shitcoins. I don't need to tell you guys. So I saw this partnership, or at least this opportunity to work on a partnership, very similar to how we worked with Blur, and we can really use being early, especially where they had their token, being very early to work together and collaborate is very exciting to me. And the fact that they already have revenue share worked out, mapped out, they haven't integrated and made it live yet. It's been really like a legal thing. And the fact that we're able to share that with you guys, right, and sort of gear up for that, help the platform meet feature parity with some of the big boys before that revenue sharing launches, that's really sweet because personally, from the NFT days, the most exciting revenue sharing on a platform opportunity was LooksRare. I think LooksRare was ahead of its time, honestly, ahead of its time in so many ways, for better or for worse. But that was really incredible, right? And imagine shitcoin volume. If we can make this platform absolutely cracked and be on the ground floor, having exposure to it, being able to claim rewards, right? Earn revenue share in the months to come after we have really helped them platform and succeed. I think that's very exciting. So all in all, we're gonna keep. We'll publish more announcements. I'm gonna publish a field report too, and we're gonna make it easier to find resources about Padre. And for now, feel free to check my announcement from Friday and give feedback in the channel. They're really receptive to it. Honestly, good, bad. I've given them like wild feedback. I was like, I don't know how they're gonna take this, and it's just sort of as a litmus test. And very similar to working with Pac-Man. You're just blunt, you're honest. Okay, I hear you, but it's just sick to see the turnaround time so quick on a lot of this feedback. Where and their attention is just so focused on this, where it just reminds me of working early days with Pac-Man when Blur was the only thing that he cared about, right? So this is the only thing that these founders really truly care about and are dedicating themselves to weekdays and weekends as well. That's all I'll say. Jake, I'll hand the show back to you. It is Jake and Bake after all. Wake and Jake after all, and I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. Great rundown, man. Thank you again for locking on the partnership. I think it will be a good cook. Hopefully, honestly, with a lot of upside to be a pretty great cook for all members that take part in it. So, yeah, we'll We'll stop the we'll stop the shill on Padre stuff for now.
I have a question for you, Jake. Sorry, while you were
Yeah.
there, how did you get that view on the side? I can't get it, man. The trending view to open up at the same time as your
Oh,
chart.
shit. Okay, let me reshare real
I
quick.
don't know
One
why. I've
second.
been trying to look for it this whole time. I don't know if it's just me that needs to refresh. I did
I think you
already.
have to go to settings. Yeah, you go
Oh,
settings and
here
then
we
do the
go.
sidebar view.
Oh, wow,
So you
that's
can
gonna.
edit. You can edit
Oh, I
your
see. I
screen
see.
basically, and
Oh,
then you
that's
click
sick.
like this trending tab, or you can have like a recently viewed in there.
Oh, that's sick. I didn't know
Watch
that.
list, or you could also have new pairs in there too. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Yo,
it's pretty sick.
such a freaking
This is
game
actually
changer.
yeah, like Mitch was saying, this is like my favorite part about Padres because you can look at a chart and you can also be monitoring new stuff that's like popping right now. You can see like obviously top volume and you can see what the market cap is right now, and then you can also see how old it is. So if it's like something that's like 1 or 2 minutes old and it's getting much volume, then it's like it's very easy to just be like, and you're already like looking at something else, very easy to just like click over
Wow.
and monitor it real quick and see if it's legitimate or not. Like go to all the relevant links, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah, that's a game
Yeah,
changer,
pretty
bro.
nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll again not to overly shill. I think it's an easy farm. Because we have like an exclusive deal that like basically others don't have. But what I do like is that they already have a token out, so people are gonna be like, oh, I'll just keep using Bullx and I'll keep using Photon, and like they'll farm this little airdrop that's basically not gonna bring them much at all. I think the Bullx one is gonna under like people are just gonna be under on it because of how much volume big whales are doing on it. So I mean, when you have an opportunity like this where like 20 or 30 people are fighting for a big allocation like we are in MVHQ. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. Like, even if I'm just gonna buy a token that I'm looking to hold long term and I don't look and not looking to farm, why wouldn't I go to Padre? You know what I mean? It's right there for you to use. You'd be using any other tool that's basically even higher on fees. So what a great opportunity to just load up some Solar, some ETH, or whatever it might be, because it is multi-chain, and just buy whatever it is you were looking to buy, even if it's just like meme coins for longer term. I mean, I've been loading it up. I haven't traded enough on it because as soon as I did load up, we got into some quiet days. But I think I'm gonna do the full transfer very soon. Bullx is gonna go out the window, and it's gonna be Padre only. Another thing, they have a mobile app, don't they? I see a way of logging in mobile. Is that like a standalone app, or is it something like that Telegram where you have to click a link? Have you guys used it yet?
No, I haven't tried that yet. Yeah.
I think it's just for auth, Jinzo. I haven't tried it yet,
Oh, okay.
but I don't trust Telegram auth. But I like the Gmail auth because it's also Gmail plus password,
Right.
and
I,
that's really easy for me.
it might not even be working. I'm clicking here on sign in on mobile, show QR code, and it's not popping up for me. I don't know if it like on the profile tab, there's like sign in on mobile, and then you can show a QR code, but the code's not popping up for me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to chime in real quick with the +1 on Padre. It definitely is positive EV. I put in 10 Sol like a day ago just to screw around with it, and I already have 10% of the MVHQ volume. So like you can definitely stack it up pretty quickly, especially in the chop if your goal is to just farm it. So like, I know we're saying the word shill, but I don't think it's shill. It's absolutely positive EV if you're trading shitcoins and get in here, gang. Like we can all cook together. Genuinely, if we hit 30 mil in 30 days, it's gonna be a sick airdrop for not a lot of work. So definitely just wanted to +1 it.
Yeah, it reminds me so much of Blur. We keep bringing up Blur, and it's not just the colors of it that look like Blur. It really is exactly like the Blur deal where everybody faded. And then we got that monster airdrop just for being MVHQ, and everybody was like, what the fuck? I didn't know. I didn't know this was happening. So that's why I keep talking about it. I was even sleeping on it for the first week of it. And now I'm like Padre pilled, and I don't stop talking about it because I see the opportunity. It's like like again, not to go too crazy here, but MVHQ keeps bringing these opportunities to the members, and I feel like they're being underutilized. It's happened time and time again. It happened from Luxrare all the way to Blur, and even now with Padre, I feel like it's gonna happen again, where 20 or 30 people are gonna take advantage, but we're 700 people in here. So if you're in, good for you, man. I think you have a good chance of profiting on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite like UI UX overall in terms of like scouting out projects, but I love it if you already know that you want to trade a project. I think it has like the best buy dip and take profit interface of any other trading platform. So like I still prefer DEX and GMGN to like scout for the actual tokens, but once I know like, oh, this is something that I want to just trade like all day and be in and out of it, I think it's just a great place to do it because it's so user friendly once you find the ticker you're looking for.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, get on there. But that's it. Let's move on here. Jake, you have anything else to touch on when it for shitcoins, or are you good?
No, that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted us to give a little bit of an overview on NFTs too, since we know that a lot of them are going crazy really with the airdrops. Pengu's behind us. Pudgies are still moving. They're at 18 ETH. I guess people are farming now for or they're accumulating for abstract token that's coming probably in January. So they've been doing very well. Azuki are at 12 ETH. 12 ETH because obviously everybody wants that anime token and just good vibes all around. I'm seeing my timeline is filled with Azuki. Even their Azuki elementals are back up to almost mint for the beans. I looked at it and I was actually surprised that we paid 2 ETH for each bean, but we did. And obviously some were airdropped. But anyway, Azuki elementals are at 1.55. Their beans are at 2.2. Um, yeah, I mean, Jirisan is at point 0.9 almost. This I don't know if you got. Did you get this Kaido Genesis stuff? Jake, it's this basically this utility NFT that dropped in
Yeah.
on Saturday early in the morning. Did you see that?
Yeah. I didn't see it on time enough. I did sign up for Kaido.
Oh shit!
And it was like the day that the mint was, and I didn't even know about the mint. I just thought that the website was interesting. It's like a mindshare. It's another one of those like mindshare ones where it like shows analytics for different projects and different like categories of mindshare and attention.
Interesting.
Kind of what their platform is. But yeah, I didn't even I did, so I was too late to get the Genesis airdrop. But yeah, it was like point 0.1 mint and it's 3.3 ETH floor right now. So
Yeah, what a
yeah,
clip.
there's definitely some mints doing well again.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like peak bull when we were minting things for cheap and then they'd run to a few ETH. But I know Cap hit it manual actually. He didn't even use a bot. I know a lot of people botted this, and I don't even know if you needed to really because it feels like it went under the radar. Some people did fail, but Cap got one manually. He says he rolled out of bed and just decided to mint this. It wasn't even on my radar. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like I heard about it maybe a day before, but didn't pay any attention to it. I just figured it was going to be some crappy mint, and here we are. Do you think it's overvalued or do you think their platform's worth it? Is there like do you find there's value to that?
Um, I haven't looked too much into it,
Okay,
honestly. But yeah, I mean, we always talk about it. Attention is like you're basically trading attention in this space, and that's what it's tracking is attention and stuff.
for
So I
sure.
think that's definitely valuable. Yeah.
That does make sense,
Um,
yeah.
wait, real quick, I want to shout out WAF. That's a scam coin. I'm pretty positive. The one you're talking about, something like Jake coin. So, like, please, if you like are joining the shitcoin streets, please like talk to us. If and you're like trading them, yeah, it just went to zero.
Yeah, that's a good
um,
call because even
I was just
yesterday
saying,
we
like,
had go
please,
ahead, go
like,
ahead.
talk to us. Please, yeah, please talk to us, like, shitcoiners, because there's like a decent learning curve. Because you can get smoked, like this one, for example. Like, there's some ones that are like very obvious to us that are scams that might not be for you. Um, so yeah, please like do some learning and definitely don't go big to start off with your volume.
Yeah, I'd say don't like you can ape the things you find yourself to and learn that way, but I've just had like just I find it's easier when we're like as a community looking through the coins and like identifying if they're scams or even I don't mean follow blindly to the people that you think are good in chat, but I mean a lot of them are doing DD before posting, and at least it gives you an extra layer like a view of like okay. I trust this person. They posted it. Let me do my own DD and see if I like it, and then I could ape. Like I find that if I'm just following the right people, I'm doing well. Whereas if I'm, you know what I mean? Like I know how to identify scams too, so I'll check for my own coins too. But for example, if I'm brand new in this space and I'm coming in, I won't know what looks like a honeypot. And it happens on Soul too. We saw it yesterday where someone in chat was like, oh, I love this. It's a game. And like 2 minutes later, they're posting how they can't sell the token because the owner, the dev basically locked all tokens. So or locked all addresses and nobody can sell. So you need to really be careful and identify, like learn how to identify scams and not FOMO into everything. And for me, I just like to, you know what I mean. Again, it's not like a foolproof strategy. I don't blame anybody when I do follow somebody and they go to zero, but I mean I like to follow certain people and do my own research on top of what they've already posted, because I find that some people really do post fire. And I've had more success doing that than just finding coins myself. So I do find coin myself, but I also like to follow the right people. Same thing as wallet tracking, really. Like, I mean, in MVHQ, we have some really good traders, so it's just logical to follow what they do too. I don't mean ape blindly, but just, you know what I mean. If someone posts something, you can do your DD from there and see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely don't blind follow, but do
No, don't
DD
blind
and
follow
make
ever.
your
Yeah,
decision.
exactly. So many people are
Um,
posting links to just, scan. So even us, like, we'll post like 100 tickers. It doesn't mean they're all gonna cook. 90 probably won't cook. So, but yeah, go ahead, Jake.
yeah, going back to NFTs, I just wanted to briefly shout that out so he didn't get wrecked. Hopefully he sold. I don't know. It's he didn't have much time. I don't know if he even bought, but
On which
um,
one? Oh, the Jake coin?
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I stayed out of that.
No, yeah, no, I was talking about WAF. Anyway, back on NFT stuff. I just want to give a quick overview of what's been happening in the market because there had been some decently big announcements. A lot of this is basically they're pumping because of coins. Like that's pretty much all the stuff that's been pumping is they're like solely pumping because people want the coin from the NFT. So I don't know, like that's kind of makes me a little wary of like is like people are talking about like is are NFTs back? Like they're only really back because they're launching a coin. So is that really back? I don't know. Um, I feel like it seems like temporary from that aspect in my opinion, but yeah, just again like quick recap like you said, Azuki's launching anime coin for their like anime. I think they're doing like a chain as well as obviously like a TV show and stuff too. So Azuki Eco's been the hot one recently after the Pudgy drop. People are looking, as that as like a bit of a beta. Um play, if you will. Then also Doodles was the other one that basically announced the token. They didn't officially, but they like tweeted some like the founder tweeted some like um kind of like hidden message in a tweet that basically like all the first letters of the tweet lined up to say token is coming.
Which
So
one was that
basically
for?
yes, they said Doodles.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so they pumped that was a few days ago. They pumped
Yeah.
from like four, little over four, to like all the way up to 80th, and now they're kind of settled a bit around like the 6.5 range, along with like the other Doodle ecosystem stuff. And yeah, also Cool Cats. It's just like everyone's just going with the token now. Cool Cats basically hinted at they're doing a token as well. It was like someone said something about like in a recent episode they like pointed out like, oh, I can't believe no one noticed this. And then like in the episode they like mentioned like some kind of like cat, like a cat token. um so like they basically confirmed that they're doing a token. Um they pumped back originally when Gary V said he bought that pump from like point 0.5 to like 1.5 or 1.6 or so, and then they fell back down around 1 again, and then they pumped again after that to like around up almost 2, a little under 2, and now they're sitting at like 1.3 or so. Cats also obviously had a token, so I think that certainly hurts them. I mean, also besides the fact that they haven't really been able to gain much attention um, since for a long time now, um, but also the fact that they had like the milk token and like that didn't work out. So the fact that they've already launched a token and that didn't work out, granted it was for a game, whatever. You can have plenty of debate there. Um, So yeah, I think that's probably why they haven't really seen any type of crazy increase. Then what else? Sappy Seals has been pumping too. I think people are expecting them to get a monad allocation. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I haven't looked into it too much. But people are buying the seals for a monad, which is a very hype L1 that got like a huge amount of funding, like hundreds of millions, like $1 billion valuation. maybe multi-billion valuation from their latest funding round. So people are very excited about Monad, which I'm sure most of you have heard about already. So there's an expectation that seals get a allocation. So again, like all this stuff is only pumping with the expectation that there's going to be a token allocation involved with it. Like there's nothing to do with like non-token stuff for these pumps. That's kind of why I'm like wary of like people saying NFTs are back. It's like they're only back because of tokens, for the most part. Do I missing anything else? Oh yeah, Genesis. The one other one that's OpenSea's NFTs that they like gave for either free or as like a very cheap mint or something a while ago, like years ago. OpenSea, everyone's speculating is having a token as well. There was like an OpenSea Foundation Twitter that was created, and there's OpenSea Foundation entity created in the Cayman Islands. And obviously they're doing like rewards and stuff now, and like teasing like OpenSea V2. So ton of speculation about OpenSea token. And people are buying these Genesis NFTs currently at 0.064 floor, so a really cheap entry, but it's like 100k supply, 95k supply. Which is why it's so cheap. And people are like hoping, obviously, that these get a token allocation from OpenSea and stuff too. That remains to be seen as well. So that I think about covers it. I guess one more NFT on this trend is Pirate Nation. They've been tweeting more about like the pop stuff, like Proof of Play, which is their parent company in the chain and infrastructure and stuff. Like they're gonna have a token for that, and people are expecting pirates to get like a flat allocation based on for that pop token itself too. So like those saw a brief pump from like 0.5 to like 0.75 or so, kind of back down to like 0.62 area right now. So that's another one to watch. Oh, sorry, one more. I'm still going. Look at all these OCH Genesis rings, the on-chain heroes. They're like supposed to be kind of like the big project outside of Pudgy's, obviously, on Abstract. They're launching an Abstract, and this is like their Genesis NFT, and people are hoping for like maybe an Abstract allocation, but also like a farming type of like DeFi game situation, kind of like I saw like comparison to like yield on Blast, which obviously is down bad astronomic, but it was like a cook at first. So people are buying these chains, these rings, if you will, in anticipation for like some abstract farming stuff, and those are like 3.5 ETH. So I think that might be everything. Correct me if I'm wrong,
You
but
forgot the biggest
yeah.
one, man. You forgot the biggest one. A kid called Beast. Do not
Yeah,
buy
a
this
kid
shit.
called Beast. Well, and
Oh,
obviously HQ keys. Come on.
the HQ keys.
Um,
Yeah, we can't. How do we always forget to plug our own stuff? I don't understand, bro.
I think I'm allergic to shilling. Yeah.
Me too. I don't know. It's always been something that we've been like, you know what I mean? Not against per se, but just like, I don't know. It's just I guess we're a little bit too humble sometimes. I have to tell you.
Yeah, the kid called Beast. I saw everyone shitting on that one. That was
Bro, I
funny.
laughed so hard. It's if you open it, there's just it's the hand like twirling a coin, like it's this guy, bro. Anyway,
I think even World of Women might have teased something.
I feel like they had a coin, didn't they? Or they never dropped one and they were teasing one
I
months
don't
ago.
know.
Yeah, I can't remember. That whole project's dead to me. But yeah, I mean, just honorable mention too to like the Barachain stuff because everybody is quietly farming those. I mean, the eco is too expensive to get into, I think, for me. But I mean, I think they're gonna cook heavy on those NFTs. And one more since we're on NFTs, Silva's just been killing it with the Tia stuff. I mean, they're just quietly cooking over there. I think Silva's just like it's so funny how Silva's always in these like you know, in the real back streets of crypto and NFTs, and he's always cooking on something that others aren't. And yeah, the mammoths over here that they were able to mint. He actually posted it in chat here. That thing did like a 250x from mint, and yeah, I mean, if there's anybody that's been quietly cooking and you know what I mean, he does he likes to push it sometimes, but you won't hear what Silva's cooking on until it's cooked. So he's been doing good. I have to shout him out.
Yeah.
Those mammoths, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Anything from you guys, community? Any thoughts around NFT stuff?
Jake, I do just really want to echo what you were saying about it being related to the coins and tokens primarily. And I think that's really the underlying case here. There's definitely going to be some stuff that comes out, and you'll see one-offs that get a lot of volume, but just be careful out there. As you mentioned, World of Women shouted out that they had a token incoming, and the floor has gone down since that announcement. So just because something has a token does not mean it's a good project. And as we know in this space, people love to grift and take money. So this is an opportunity for them to launch a token for basically no money and extract additional money from people who are in their ecosystem. So like there's going to be some great tokens that are providing value and building stuff like Pengu. There's going to be less good stuff like Kid Beast or whatever that are just purely trying to extract money from the ecosystem. So gen responsibly, just keep that in mind, folks, like do a little bit of research and think about what the risk return is there because there's just no guaranteed trades.
Yes, sir. Great shout. AI hot mic, unless you had something.
Nope, sorry. I popped off that.
You're good AI. Should I
Yeah,
put you?
I'm setting up my Padre account as you guys are talking.
Oh,
and,
look at you.
taking it, stripping everything out of BullX and setting it up. So appreciate the kick in the ass to do that.
Yeah, man. I was really procrastinating on it too, and even now I loaded up with 10 Sol and barely did anything. So I'm gonna dump all kinds into that. I might even I guess we could send tokens. I'm probably gonna send some other tokens into there too.
Yeah. Yeah. Download private key, put in your photon or put in your phantom or whatever.
Yeah, good call. But yeah, that's all I have on NFTs. Anybody else? Maybe we forgot something. I don't think so though. We covered a lot.
Yeah, all good.
Well, look, you know what? We'll talk
any other
about this
shouts you had?
after. Yeah, our platform. We're just talking about farming tokens. Guys, if you haven't gotten on app.nvhq.io yet and did the simple clicks to get your points to be able to boost whatever allocation you get from the keys you hold. I mean, it's so easy. It's a few clicks. Just get on there and do it. I mean, it doesn't cost much at all, and it's just, you know what I mean, a few clicks. It's not too late. You know what I mean? And we have a referral program too, where if you just send people your link and get them on the platform, you know what I mean, you'll collect more allocation also. So easiest farm out there really. It's just a few clicks. You know what I mean? The likes and retweets are done like they're all done directly in app. Except for when you want to reply, then it'll kick you over to Twitter so you can send a reply to whatever mission or whatever post we have. But I mean, it's just the easiest farm right now. Just go and do it. Everybody's sleeping on it, and I feel like now they're starting to wake up to it because we've had a couple of posts that went viral in the last few days. But still, easy farm. Just go ahead and get your boosts and stuff. And another shout
Hold
another
on,
thing I
hold on.
want. Oh, go ahead.
I just
Yeah,
want to
go
say,
ahead.
yeah. I just want to say, like if you are obviously if you're a member, like we have a staking for the NFTs, like soft staking, so you don't have to sign. You don't have to you don't have to like actually stake, like pay gas to stake, I should say. And it's like quite a big multiplier to your points. So like it'd be like also because of the fact that you're already a member, like that's certainly going to increase like the default airdrop for the coin if you also are like doing just the week, even like the weekly missions and all the missions in general will help. So by quite a bit. So that's the alpha.
Yeah, just make sure you're doing it with the same wallet that you have your key in. That's we don't have any hard staking like Jake's saying, but the soft staking needs to read your wallet. And obviously, it has to be connected to that wallet. Like you have to have that wallet connected to the platform. If ever you're afraid of losing your key and you're afraid of having it in a hot wallet or whatever, just open up a ticket. We lock keys. We can lock your key for you. We have a long list of people that have done it already. You know what I mean? Just reach out to us and we'll lock your key. That way, if ever that wallet does get compromised, at least your key won't be able to be transferred. So we can do that too. I wanted to get into. Oh, here we go. Focus discussions. There's so many. Not focus discussions. Recaps. I'm trying to find the field reports. Well, there's so many tickets. I can't find the fucking field reports.
You
Help me
know.
out. Help me out here. I'm scrolling endlessly. Field
Bro, you
reports.
gotta
One of the
go. It's under the tickets.
yeah. Is that what it is? I
Yeah,
just keep looking
staff. We
at it.
see like all the tickets, so it's just like endless scrolling for us because
Oh,
there's so
I
many
had it closed.
tickets.
Yeah. Wait. Am I missing it? There it is. The content section for some reason ended up closed for me. But yeah, we have a lot of field reports that are worth it. I think it's just everything's hot, so people are sharing a lot of valuable information. I think some of them might have been called out last week, but I wasn't here, so I couldn't tell you. But Sola posted Cult Farming 101. She basically runs down ways of you being able to farm the Milady token without having to do much at all. So that's one. And then you have yeah, BTC Alchemist runs down ways of you putting your ETH to work. That one's a good one. Hyperliquid Rikimaro runs down ways of you basically being able to use the Hyperliquid chain to maybe not farm but just use the chain, and he shows you how the bots work and everything. Like, he runs it down really well. So if anybody was looking to get into Hyperliquid and having a better view of that, that's the field report for you. But again, be careful with. I think it's going to be fine, but Hyperliquid had a bit of FUD this week where North Korean hackers are trying to compromise the chain, but I think that happens on every chain, so it's not, you know what I mean? I think if it's a good chain, then they're protected against that, and I think it's a lot of FUD for nothing, but again, something to keep note of. Um Fly by Wire, which loves to farm, he always does a lot of farming. He has a whole field report on Soul Decoder and how that will help you do some Meteora farming and stuff for DLMMs. Metarova has a great field report about OpenSea farming and what he's been doing to basically like increase his allocation. None of this is like, all of this is speculative, but he's just giving you a rundown of different things you can do to potentially get more airdrop. You know what I mean? All this could probably be ignored, but I mean, it makes sense to just use OpenSea Pro, or what I mean, create something, or there's just so much you can do to, or you get a Genesis NFT, or there's just so much you can do to increase your chances if you are looking to take on that added time basically. And that's it. I mean, there's just so many good ones, so go in there and just pick one and see if it fits you.
Yeah, obviously some incredibly smart people here at MBHQ. Writing some great output opportunities all around. So always appreciate you guys putting in the work to do that. Show them love too, and blesses and stuff too. If it is help, if you find what they write helpful, so it obviously encourages more and more alpha being shared. One other thing, real quick. Silva, is Silva in here? Silva's in here. Silva says, "Don't fade the or he says fade the Cosmos thread discussion at your own risk." Silva, can you tell us more? This is the first time hearing about the Cosmos thread in a long time.
Same. The other day you told me.
Yeah, GM guys.
What's up,
Jim.
Silva?
Yeah, I mean, I've made a couple of posts here and there about it because I know a lot of people here, bought Tia at the top or near the top, whatever it was, 6, 8, 9 months ago to stake it for all the other Ponzi airdrops over there, like Dimension and uh, I did it. I know a lot of other people did it, and they got upset. Right? Tia has been pretty down since then, pretty far away off the top. Um, but they've had a couple of NFT projects now over there that have done just exceedingly well. The number one being the Sloths, which was my PFP for the most part for most of the year, and I go back to it every couple of weeks. Um, but I mean, Sloths were a 1 TIA mint, and I mean, right now their floor is 1,200 TIA. I mean, I think their all-time high is around 1,600 TIA, which is almost 8,000 USD. So, from like $5 to 8K. Um, on top of that, they're by far and away the number one NFT project on the chain. The founder of the chain, Nick White, uses it, like he minted one way back when, uses it as his PFP, um, and has parlayed that into Sloths getting every meaningful like NFT whitelist or airdrop from a new protocol, DApp, etc. that's gone on over there. I mean, I've collected, $50 here, $200 there. This whitelist that I sold for, 25 TIA. Like every couple of weeks, there's something like that. That as long as you, hold the NFT and halfway pay attention to their Discord when they're asking you to submit a wallet for something, it's paid for itself 10 times over. I mean, and I still have the thing, right? Um, Most recently, it's what I posted a picture of. It's what my PFP is now. They had mammoths mint last week, and all sloths were whitelisted for one. They minted for 0.75 TIA, and yesterday when I checked last, the floor was between 350 to 400 TIA. So whatever that is, like $1,500, $2,000, something like that, in less than a week. I mean, the most difficult part was just bridging over to the chain to be able to mint because it was on Forma chain, which is just some weird ancillary offshoot from Celestia. I don't know anything about it. I just know I had a sloth, I got whitelisted, and now I could sell it for way more than I bought it for. And that generally is the formula with these things. They're so under the radar, they're so niche, but there is like really active and thriving communities, which I think is a really good counterpoint to what you guys were talking about earlier. These people aren't there for the airdrops, right? It's not an Azuki or a Cool Cats or a Doodle situation where people are buying up what are essentially dead assets just so they can have a coin to dump. People are buying these because they're a new nascent chain. There's genuinely a community that's excited about them. As cringe as that may or may not sound, like we were all around in 2020, 2021. Like I recognize the signs of how it just looks and feels different in there. And it's not people asking when token, when coin, when this. It's good vibes, it's community, it's the fact that they get rewarded every couple of weeks just for holding. It's funny to say it's been my easiest, most comfy hold of this entire year of 2024. Because it's on a chain that I never really use, so I don't go and I look at it very often. But when I do, usually prices up and there's an extra claim or whitelist for me to mint or, get into my wallet that I can then sell to recover any costs. So I know that's all a very long-winded way of saying it, but I legitimately think there's 3 or 4 people in that chain that minted mammoths, and it's the same 3 or 4 people that were in there months ago who minted sloths. It's like me, T-Pan, King Saison, and 1 or 2 other people. Yeah, T-Pan just linked the founder of Celestia in that chat, Nick White. He also has so like I said, he minted a sloth, has had it as his PFP forever. He also minted a mammoth. He has that in his Twitter banner as well now. He's like had public comments on Twitter with like the founder and the leads at Monad, saying things like just saying things like, Monad seems, kind of lazy, blah blah blah, which is like the
Is it just me or did Silva just die?
He died.
well.
Oh no.
So
There
it's
it is.
just it. Oh no.
You're good. Continue.
You're good. You just got
Am I
You're
cut out
gone?
for a second. We can hear you now.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up there. I'll wrap it up there. Just that there's a lot of positive, bullish things going on in this ecosystem. The most bullish, I know it's the one thing I've been holding out for really for 9+ months now, is the fact that the sloths might get a monad allocation, just because of the relationship with Nick White, the founder of Celestia, and the monad team, and then kind of going back and forth on Twitter. So easy hold, airdrop magnet, and it's not the same way all these other NFT collections are now, where it's just people are just looking for exit liquidity in the form of a token. It feels like an old 2021 NFT collection. So I'll hold it until it makes me sad to hold it any longer.
Good going down, bro. I love that. I love that for you too. You've been doing awesome. And you always seem to find these little nooks and crannies that, you know what I mean, you're able to cook on. The one thing I could ask, if you can please make a list of like links and stuff, and so we could put it in Cosmos. I was just looking for like the I know you sent it to me last time, but I was looking for the marketplaces and stuff, and I don't see them. So I think it'll be easier for people to find if we just had a list of links, so we can come and crash the party.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just pinned the link for the sloth marketplace, and I'll pin the mammoth marketplace link now.
Thank you so much, bro. That was a
And
good rundown. I was always yeah.
T-Pan T-Pen, I mean, he's probably he's probably as bullish, if not a little more bullish on it all than I am. He's definitely been like my partner in crime there. Whenever I do like a ping for sloths or at here, it's usually T-Pan is one of the 2 or 3 people responding, and he linked a bunch of really prominent like crypto Twitter people who also minted mammoths last week and are using them as profile pictures, like Eric Wall, who is on. I don't know if he's on the Quantum Cats team or if he just does a lot of like Bitcoin dev work, but I mean, he's a huge personality in the Bitcoin space. Eric Wall, he was going to do that promotional thing with Iggy Azalea at whatever that conference was a couple months ago before it got he got canceled for whatever reason. Mert, who is the Helios dev, who I mean, I think he's got over 100, like 50 to 100,000 followers, and he's super popular on crypto Twitter as well. So just a lot of people from other ecosystems even noticing and minting, these weird nascent niche PFPs and, enough to talk about it on Twitter and just good vibes.
Thank you, bro. That's amazing. It always seems like it's the ones that are least talked about that cook the hardest. So I'm glad you're waking people up to it and converting people to the Tia Church. A lot of people are crappy
Yeah.
shitcoins, and you know what I mean. This is easier for people, and this is what we need. It's these opportunities where, like shitcoins will, it's high risk, and you can lose if you haven't gone through the learning curve yet. Meanwhile, you have so many other spots that are rarely talked about, including the Tia stuff and like other chains. So, I mean, that could be a good opportunity for a lot of people that have never attempted like or aren't good at shitcoins or aren't looking to attempt shitcoins. So, yeah, thank you, bro.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Appreciate it, guys. Happy to have anyone and everyone come join us down at the Church of Celestia. And really just to hammer it home, I think it's something that I know JJ talks about a lot, and I know a lot of us have, brought it up on multiple occasions. Jinzo, you, Jake. If there's usually a barrier to entry for any of these things, right? If there's a little bit of a difficulty bridging funds over or finding a marketplace, right? That usually is kind of one of those go signs, that says like this is more difficult than the average mint. It's going to be harder for any regular person to get this, so it's probably going to pay off in the long term, right? It doesn't always, but everything about this ecosystem has kind of fit that bill for me. It's been just a little bit harder than a regular mint or a regular claim, but outside of just buying the coin at the top, I've never lost money on any of these NFTs or anything like that. And in fact, I'm up, like I said, I've spent one and a half to two Celestia total on NFT mints, and I mean, if I sold now, I'd have somewhere between like 1,500 to 2,000. So not a bad ROI in my book.
Good job, bro. Happy to hear it. Well,
Appreciate it.
yeah, Jake, if you have anything else, I mean, I don't have much else to cover. I think we've had a really full show here. Let me know if you see anything else.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else. Thank you, Silva, for the rundown. That was great. Always love learning about stuff that I haven't looked into too much. So appreciate it. Yeah, that was it for me. I don't have anything else on the docket. We're already at 24 minutes over the hour mark, looks like. So yeah, I'm happy to wrap it up unless there's anything else.
No, I'm good. I mean, we came into this not knowing how much we had to talk about, and finally we had a lot of stuff to cover. So bullish as always. But yeah, I'll take this time to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, and we'll be here again next week for our regular scheduled show. So the one right before New Year's. So yeah, happy holidays, everybody. I loved cooking with you all year, and I'm glad we get to do this for many more weeks. So yeah, Jake,
Yes,
love you,
sir.
buddy.
Yeah, I love you guys. Happy holidays. Enjoy the time with your family and friends.
Take care, everyone.